What's good in the web? Your man Q back again, and yeah, we missed Valentine's Day, but love ain't regulated to one day, and neither are waifus. So here's a list for you, not them. Well, it's for everybody, so don't go nowhere. 10 of the best girl next door waifus in RPG. The first entry is going to be a little controversy because many of y'all do not consider Zelda as being an RPG. And there's no iterations of Zelda that, you could probably pinpoint and say that one. But you know what? Let's get the elephant out of the room. First and foremost, I consider Zelda as being an RPG. It has the 4 pillars of role-playing games that define it. A battle system, whether it's considered an action or a turn-based or whatever else based you want to do it, even a strat, a world map, towns, and a menu system where you can use items and other tools. I mean, if Skyrim and Elden Ring can be an RPG, why can't Zelda, which is kind of the foundation for the whole entire genre? Secondly, I'm gonna go back to the beginning, the first story, where it all takes place, and that's Skyward Sword, where Zelda and Link were friends and sorta, kind of romantic interests, or at least that's how I was looking at it. This is actually my favorite rendition of Zelda, minus Ocarina of Time, where, she's Sheik, which don't really count, by the way, cause, I was thinking she was the homie, but she really wasn't. And I'm not gonna count that Breath of the Wild Zelda either. You know, that one with them spanks. The whole story revolves around Zelda and her lineage and her magical powers. I mean, she is, the wisdom part of the Triforce. And the reason that Link do what Link do. The reason I can't and probably will never put her higher on this list, and she almost didn't make this one. Unlike pretty much every other character on this list, you can't control her. She's a guest NPC. I mean, come on, Nintendo. How's she gonna be a guest NPC when the game isn't her name? It's time, Nintendo. It's time we get a mainline Zelda where you can actually control Zelda in her own game. If you wanna at me about Zelda being an RPG, that's what the comments is for. Tia is from a small town where Maxim, the main protag from Lufia 2, takes place. If my memory serves correct, she and Maxim were living together? Or was they that close of neighbors? Even if they wasn't living together, my dude Maxim was always up in our house and in her items.
If you know what I mean.
She owned an item shop. And unlike most girl next door characters, she doesn't wait for the hero to notice that she, interested. This woman shoots her shot, and on a daily. And when the looming threat of the Sinistrals appeared, unlike most shopkeepers / girl next doors, she chooses to close up shop.
Shut it down.
Tia is cute with that long purple hair and spicy attitude, and one of the few whip characters in RPGs. Sadly though, through all her efforts, she was ultimately friendzoned. When Celine, the main game's female protag, also a baddie, with that blue aquish hair and fighting spirit. And soon after that, Tia disappeared into the sunset. She did show up later in some in-game events, but it wasn't the same. Paulette is the childhood friend of Lloyd and Janice, and the main female protagonist of Tales of Symphonia. If there was a cookie-cutter design for nicey nice healer types in RPGs, well, Paulette's picture would be there, and right next to her would be Mint and Eric. But she's not really a healer type. That's Rain. She's more kinda clumsy? The initial story takes place as she is the chosen
by the gods
and prophesies to usher in the atonement of course, the world. Unlike that trope, she's not like most waifus next door. She joins the party. Matter of fact, it's centered around her. She can also kinda be shipped with Lloyd if you fancy, but who could ever when there's Sheena? Platina was your prototypical girl next door, cute, shy, and looked destined to be an NPC until that one fateful night. Lucian, her boyfriend, crush, dude that was creeping in her window, snatches her up out of her bed and run through the forest because her parents was gonna sell her to the men in black. like they had just did his little sister. But unlike many girl next door tropes and stories, Latina dies in the first act, but was resurrected as Linnet,
The Valkyrie.
destined to do Odin's bidding, recruiting Enhungarikayars, basically dead warriors with noble spirits, to help in the coming battle of Ragnarok against Loki. As fate would have it, Palutena, now in the guise of Linnet, meets Lucian. They got a connection, but Linnet can't really unlock it yet. However, in-game, you can do a whole bunch of extra side missions and different
Thingamajigs and Bob.
at the time I had to look up on the internet for, because it's no way that a normal person without a strategy guide or the interweb would know how to get these two back together. If you do choose that route, the two of them hook up. Them is definitely more than friends. Luna is the adopted sister of Alex, which in a sense makes her more than just the girl next door. Kinda like the girl in a room around the corner that you can, I wonder what she's doing right now. Along with being a cutie pie, Luna has a beautiful singing voice with just a hint of magical powers. What separates her from many of her contemporary girl next door characters is she's actually the plot. As a matter of fact, Luna is a routine incarnation of the goddess Athena, born into the world in order for Athena to live. That's a tongue twister. So yeah, not so run-of-the-mill. She does heal what lead female protagonists at the time didn't back in the day. Luna was a bit of a tsunade, which gave the story and Alex, the main hero of the story, a little more depth. I really wish working designs and game arts or somebody would pick up this fan favorite franchise and do something with it, even if it's just like a like on the Switch, which seems to be the go-to for RPGs nowadays. Aika is one of my favorite girl next door characters and would be higher on the list if not for the fact that her backstory is, well, there really isn't one. Apparently, she was an orphan taken in by Vize's folks and took up refuge on their island like 16, 17 years ago. And she lives by herself right next door to Vize, who is, the main protagonist. Her parents were briefly discussed, and I believe that they were killed by the Empire a while back. But with Aika Lax's backstory, she makes up with in loyalty, moxie, and speed. And she's pretty funny too. Plus, she has a boomerang as a weapon. I want y'all to think back. How many characters have boomerangs as weapons anymore? Or just like ever? I'll wait. It's obvious that her and Vize got something going on. Something more than just friends. I mean, how could they not? But then there's Fina. Miss Healer, nicey nice, don't think twice. 90s title trope. I don't know what it was back then. If you was a healer, it was automatically destined for you to be the main love interest. Fiora's story was one of the oldest role-playing tropes ever. Cutie pie waifu that lives next door to you and you know her better than pretty much anyone else. All of a sudden, she suddenly gets taken away and boom, there goes the plot. Maybe it would have been shocking for me if I hadn't already played so many damn RPGs and smoked the whole Hero's Revenge arc as soon as I seen her, or if they hadn't already done this in another Xeno game. And I'm talking about Xenogears way back in 1998. And I definitely knew she was coming back. How could we not? There was nobody. And nobody equals a return. That and Monolith Soft kind of dropped the ball on the original Wii version, because under the whole Infinity Party screen, there was a silhouette for a 7th character. And I'm like, I wonder who that's gonna be. She coming back. And she did. This time in a mechanical form, although she showed a lot more skin in her mechanical form. And she was a beast in battle, a lot more than, well, when she was out here toting daggers and short shorts. She was definitely in my in-game party. Oh, and again, did I already mention it? She was a cutie pie. Her relationship with Shulk was a little forced though, and like Dixon said, once she came back into the story, it kinda dipped off into God mode. You can't have a girl next door list without Futaba. I mean, you can, but it's gonna be wrong. Not only does Futaba live right next door, or, around the corner from Cafe Le Banc, aka Akira, aka Rin, and the other Phantom Thieves base, but in all honesty, she might be the most ideal fit for Akira because all the things that they have in common, paired with her need for protection and the fact the dude basically teaches her how to live. If not for my baby Makoto and my boo Kasumi, Futaba would be my one. Actually, she was on one playthrough. Even though she technically doesn't join the fray, which is funny because she roasted Mishima about NPCs when she's like, really, a guest NPC? Like a guest party member? So, a glorified NPC? But I give her credit though. Her skills and buffs are top notch, and she actually rides around in the party, so even if you don't control her, she's still there. Which is unlike some of these girl next doors that never leave the village, but expect me to still be interested when I come back to town after I traveled the world with better waifus than you? I'm looking at you, Dragon Quest XI. I'm looking at you. If y'all thought Luca wasn't gonna make the list, y'all crazy. She's high up on the list because it's Luca. Not only is she my favorite character in my favorite video game, Chrono Trigger, but she's also a girl next door. Literally next door to Chrono. Well, technically she's like an island apart, but they walk in distance, so it's next door. Along with being Chrono's best friend, she's the super genius who telepod and warp gate devices set the entire plot in motion. There would be no knowledge of Lavos without Luca. Y'all probably think I'm reaching here. Everybody got their ships and stuff, and a lot of folks are pairing her up with Magus because she's basically Bulma, and Magus is actually like Vegeta. It's the whole Akira Toriyama effect. But I really think deep down in my heart, Luca and Chrono had something going on, but it was kind of sidelined when Meryl came in. I can actually see Meryl with Frog more than I could with Chrono. I mean, Frog, as in Glenn, had this whole thing with Lynn. Y'all didn't see it? It reminded me of that old First Night shit for those of y'all who remember that Richard Gere movie from way back when. Plus, when you think about it, only a princess can turn a frog back into a man, right? But that's a story for another day. And at number one, of course, is Tifa. Honestly, who were y'all expecting? Did you not see the thumbnail? It's Tifa. Sadly, since she debuted way back in 1997, she's got the rap of being loose and a little bit overrated, mainly because of them, her Tifas, let's say that. I'd even argue that Aerith is a little wilder than Tifa. I mean, her and Zack was more than just friends. And the way she pushed up on the homie Cloud, but I digress. With not just Tifa as the number one girl next door, isn't it obvious? I mean, she lived right next door to Cloud in Nibelheim. Cloud's entire arc, and therefore the story, was predicated on him trying to get Tifa's attention. The whole Starlight Knight and wanting to become a hero was basically to get the girl next door. And unlike so many girl next door characters, even some on this list, Tifa broke the mold, refusing to just be the damsel in distress. The next time Cloud meets up with her, this woman not only bad, but she got them hands too. And all while retaining her natural feminine energy and resolve. During the second act of the game, if it was not for Tifa, who brought back Cloud from the brink of Mako breakdown, my dude was out here tweaking, she saved him. This is why I'm not the biggest fan of Advent Children, because while it looked good, it undermined all the characterization that the end of Final Fantasy VII had. Cloud and Tifa out here living together, and my G still tripping off his dead homie's girl? I thought you got help for this Mako addiction. I'm really excited and hoping and praying that we can see more of the in-between story of what happened to Tifa after Sephiroth burned down their hometown. Maybe some battle scenes and backstory of her training with Zangen. Something, Tifa? But in a web, that's all I have for you today. Did you agree with any of the girl next door waifu characters that I put on the list? If you do, or if you don't, let me know in the comment section below. And if you did like this video, make sure you hit that like button and lets YouTube know that you like the video so they can send you more and send it to other folks too. It really helps out a lot and it's free 99, so I do appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all things JRPGs, ARPGs, and role-playing games, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I make new geekly role-playing content here on the channel all the time. And as always in the web, remember to eat, sleep, geek, repeat, and take care of yourselves. Peace!